Some say the world began in 7 days. Some say there was a Big Bang lasting 10 to the negative 43 seconds. It is possible that we will never discover how the universe was created, or how we came to be. All we can do is continue to explore. This is our world. Over 100 known elements make up the stars, planets, and other objects flying through space. There are millions of galaxies in our universe, billions of stars in each galaxy, but only a few planets. Our home in the universe is at the heart of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system. Since the dawn of mankind, people have been honoring and respecting our home for all that they have known it to be. Ancient pagan rituals celebrate the celestial bodies. The planets are named after gods. We live our lives based on astronomical patterns. In 1918, composer Gustav Holst wrote his legendary Opus 32, The Planets. It was a tribute to all of the solar system that had been discovered at that time through Neptune. 12 years later, the world went crazy when Clyde Tombaugh located the 9th planet, Pluto. They welcomed Pluto into our solar system with open arms, happy to know that there was more to our home. The progression of science would take a turn for the worse. It took 13.7 billion years to find the 9th planet, and only 76 to discredit it. 2 years ago, the International Astronomical Union took us back to the time of Holst with one fateful decision. Pluto was no longer a planet.
The word planet comes from a Greek word meaning wandering star. Until the 19th century, planet had been used to talk about anything that moves in relation to Earth, including the sun and moon and the first 6 planets. In the last 150 years, astronomers have discovered thousands of new moving objects. These include Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, but also the thousands of asteroids and other large rocks. People were unsure whether these things were also planets. On August 24, 2006, the IAU voted in Prague to redefine what is a planet. They gave 3 criteria for a planet. 1. It must orbit the sun. 2. It must be big enough to make itself round. 3. It must have a clear path for its orbit. Pluto does orbit the sun, and it is round, but it is in the Kuiper belt, so its orbit is full of asteroids. However, not everyone agrees with this definition. Alan Stern is the leader of NASA's New Horizon mission to Pluto, and a scientist at the Southwest Research Institute. He says,
"This definition stinks for technical reasons."
What he means is that the definition is not very specific. Orbiting the sun is clear enough, but what does it mean to be round? The Earth itself is not a perfect sphere. Or, what does it mean to clear a path? Under this definition, would a moon be considered a planet? In fact, the solar system is full of asteroids, over 2,000 of which lie in Jupiter's path. Will the IAU's next step be to demote Jupiter? If the IAU wants to redefine a planet, they've got to do a better job.
In 1930, the world went crazy over Pluto. School children began memorizing the names of the 9 planets. A new element was named plutonium. People never stopped loving Pluto. When it was demoted, they responded with anger.
Did this because families would come and say, "Where's Pluto? I don't see Pluto." And we said, "You're right, Pluto's not there." I have a file in my drawer of letters from angry children saying, "Please, Dr. Tyson, don't demote Pluto. It's our favorite planet." There's schools that were taking votes. There were arguments and debates.
The definition wasn't the only thing wrong with the IAU's 2006 convention. There are approximately 10,000 members of the union, but only about 400 of them voted. That's less than 4% of eligible voices heard, nowhere near enough to make a decision. We've seen things like this before. In the South, the Ku Klux Klan restricted Republican votes. In Chicago, elections were controlled by gangsters. In the recent 2000 election, Florida votes were tampered with. And now, in a decision that affects everyone in the world, voter fraud caused Pluto to be demoted from the planet. What other ramifications will Pluto's demotion have? Pluto is not only children's favorite planet, it has become a major part of our culture. In 1930, people were so excited about the new planet that Walt Disney named his newest character after it. How sad will it be when children don't know where the name comes from? And in the more obscure, astrologists have discovered that Pluto exerts a major force on our lives. They say that no matter what the definition, they will continue to use Pluto's orbit to determine the future. Until recently, Pluto was a full-fledged member of the solar system, but 2 years ago, a small, elite group of scientists got together and demoted it to a dwarf planet. Their main argument was that it is inside the Kuiper Belt, and therefore only one of thousands of asteroids. However, all planets have some asteroids around them, and the definition does not draw a clear line. In the almost 80 years that we've known about Pluto, it has become ingrained in our culture. If we were to agree that it is no longer a planet, posters, placemats, even textbooks and museums would have to be changed. Many people love Pluto, especially children. Scientists are depriving children of their favorite planet. Things are not looking good for our beloved planet Pluto, but the struggle is not over yet. When 90% of the population wants to hold on to the ninth planet, it seems wrong to let it go. The good news is that there's something we can do. In the words of astrophotographer John Schumack, 4% of the astronomical community is not enough for a decision this big. It has many public, historical, and scientific ramifications. This should be decided by the people of the world as well, not just scientists. Do your part by voting yes for Pluto's planethood at www.plutopetition.com and reverse the astronomical scandal. Step aside, IAU. My mother has 9 pizzas to deliver.
And then there were 8. Just like that. Just like that.
In the beginning, it was large semi-event. Empty the renters, you could double park the garbage sports jet. They hit the moon, took a second mortgage on the 7th house. Jupiter retalked to Mars, he felt the house, the rover sold them out.
Close your mouth, poke your snout over the cloak, the Roma clouds. Solar boy, a lower couch, ogling older Polaroids. Motor mouth show for the golden molar toy. Go Brazil, a fish out of water, he grows lungs and multiplies.